The UK government is planning on reintroducing their 2030 zero emission vehicle target, and people aren't happy. And should other countries like Australia follow suit? Last year, the then Prime Minister of the UK, Rishi Sunak, pushed back the sales ban of new cars with internal combustion engines from 2030 to 2035, along with softening of other climate protection measures. Idiot. So it's been a bit of a seesaw. First of all, it was 2035. Then I think Boris changed it back to 2030. Rishi moved it back to 2035. But now Keir Starmer and his Labour government have moved it back to 2030. Don't worry, tomorrow it'll all change again, I'm sure. So all I can say for this is it's bloody marvellous, old boys. I wish some other countries would follow suit, such as Australia. We're dragging our feet a bit on this issue. Now, of course, the automotive industry is not happy. Car makers are worried that the zero-emission vehicle mandate could hurt them. Duh. I mean, the mandate stipulates, starting in January, at least 22% of all cars sold are emission-free. For vans and so on, it's 10%. And this quota increases each year until the set date of 2030, when no new cars with internal combustion engines can be sold in the UK. New cars. Old cars are still there. Not meeting these targets results in some fines, which are pretty substantial. Now, despite all the noise from car makers and lobbyists, battery electric vehicle registrations in the UK rose by 24.5% year on year in October, and battery electric vehicles accounted for just over 20% of the market share in October. Now, if you like those figures, can you please click on that like and subscribe buttons below? Thank you. Now, if we look at this chart from SMTT stands for the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. You can see here that plug-in vehicles are outgrowing other types quite nicely, whilst petrol and diesel vehicles are decreasing in sales. As you can see, diesel down 20.5%, petrol down 14.2%, battery electric vehicles up 24.5%, and so on. Now that's in October. Year to date, it tells a similar story. So this is year to date 2023, year to date 2024, minus 12.8% for diesel, minus 1.8% for petrol, up 14.2% for battery electric vehicles, up 22.5% for plug-in hybrids, and 11.1% for those hybrids that don't have a plug on them. Oh, well. So, I mean, in October, the plug-in ones and the plain old hybrids weren't doing quite so well. Car makers, etc., are now calling on the government to take urgent action and to help them with incentives and so on. I mean, it wasn't long ago when they were crying out, incentives no good, but fossil fuel companies get them, don't they? Now, surprisingly, though the UK has got the fastest growth of zero-emission vehicles of any major EU market, they are also installing 57 new public chargers on average every day. Where are we, Australia? So manufacturers have failed to plan, so they've planned to fail. They didn't do enough soon enough, and they're now suffering the consequences. I mean, just look at Ford. It's laying off 4,000 employees in Europe. VW, closing factories. Look, that's great for the UK, but what about other countries? So here's a chart of those countries that have set some sort of target. Now, I got this from the IEA, International Energy Agency, whatever it is, website. Now, I believe it was made a couple of years ago. But as you can see, Norway is leading the way. I mean, they've got zero emission vehicles next year, which is why they're well over 94.5% now being battery electric vehicles. Now, quite a handful of countries here have set targets of some sort for 2030, which is good. This is for 2035. As you said, United Kingdom moved back one. Bright orange is 100% ZEV sales. The lighter colour is electrified sales. So they're going to include plug-in hybrids and probably hybrids there. 2040, there's a few countries here. 2050, Germany. Duh. What an absolute bunch of, yeah. Now, this lot down here, these green, are pledges, which means, well, we're not actually going to do anything too hard. So, unfortunately, some of these countries have got targets for after 2040 and pledges. Okay. Yet, Australia, can you see Australia on there? Yeah, I can't. So really, they've sort of not done very much in Australia, but they've done a lot of talking. Yes. And they've held meetings and written papers and so on. And they've announced strategies. In April 2023, the Australian government announced their National Electric Vehicle Strategy, which was made up of public consultation with more than 1,500 individuals and over 200 organisations. Now they plan to devise a national set of standards for data sharing, EV affordability, charging, fleet procurement, education and awareness, etc., etc. Look, it's just wasting time whilst they're looking like they're really trying to do something, but in reality, they're doing fuck all. It's what I call waftum. Now, in the meantime, of course, they've also given 14 billion with a B in tax breaks and incentives to fossil fuel companies in 2023. I mean, shish, what a waste of bloody money. So what do you think about setting a time limit on banning combustion vehicle sales like some countries have done? Yeah, personally, I think it's a great idea and it's going to stimulate the EV market. Now, done correctly, maybe with some government incentives thrown in, it will be great for the environment. Yes, so let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Now, eventually, yes, governments will have to introduce some sort of tax or road user charge for EVs or all vehicles to replenish their coffers. Yeah, but that'll be for another video. Now, while you're down in the comment section, don't forget, there's that like and subscribe button down there. Give them a big click for me. Thank you so much. And also in the description area, there's links to Ko-fi, my Tesla referral, and so on. So thank you very much for helping out there, and I'll see you all very soon.